This video is both a film study look at Jameson Williams as well as commentary and me posing a question to you as Lions fans based upon some thoughts that I've had in the offseason while looking at Lions offensive film. If there was one player on the offensive side of the ball that you could choose and pick to play to his potential, that you, in your opinion, would have the biggest impact for the Detroit Lions, who would that be? I'm not talking about health. And this is assuming health and availability for all involved. I believe you know what you're going to get from St. Brown, Sewell, Goff, Gibbs. Those are guys with both a high ceiling and a very high floor in terms of their contribution, statistical output, availability. Generally, they're on the field every Sunday, and as well as reliability. You know where they're going to be. For me, again, this is offense only. Someone that could elevate this group. Well, that might even be possible after averaging 33 points per game in 2024. But push them forward exponentially. I think it might be Jameson Williams. If you were to expand this or open it up to the defensive side, Aiden Hutchinson at his best is a destroyer, right? 20. What is his best? 20, 22 sacks, probably. Incredibly dominant against the run and the pass. Someone that teams have to game plan for. But if we're going to limit this or focus on offense, I think Williams at his potential could make things easier on the rest of the guys. With, he's probably never going to be 80 to 90 catch guy, 12 to 14 touchdowns, because of how much talent there is on the offense. How many position players can make an impact? You go down the list, there's 6, 7, 8, 9 guys who can make plays. But big play potential on simple concepts, impact on sweeps and reverses, which we'll kind of cover here. I'm going to give you some conceptual reasons, or things I should say, that John Morton and the staff could focus on using Jameson Williams in combination with other players to really increase the likelihood of a big play, if you will. We'll get some film started. I think I've got 9 plays queued up here, and I want to focus on Goff as we kind of run this back a little bit back and forth. So he's pointing at Jameson Williams, and he's literally waving by. So I don't know if there was a question asked about this, but it's so interesting to then see the concept that they run, they being the Lions. Check out how this corner plays a cover 3, and then this free safety really stays locked on to Williams, who'll be spot shadowed in yellow pretty much on every single play. There's the route that Williams is going to run. Just a vertical up the seam, cover 3 with the safety kind of shaded to that side. It just goes to show you what Williams is capable of. If he's got a free release, number one, and number two, if Goff is willing and able to work the ball downfield. Goff is at the back of his drop, and I'll talk about this a lot. This free safety is still stuck on him from a visual standpoint. Still hasn't turned and opened his hips until Goff turns to throw. So really no recognition of the route by Williams at all. It's a cover 3. So 4 under is these 4 defenders here. And then the 2 corners deep. I try to give Goff's field of vision as best I can understand it on most of these plays. If there's too many graphics going on here, my apologies for that. And I'll talk about Goff's back foot, his plant foot, a lot in this video, meaning when he gets back here and he's in rhythm and things are set up for him to just get on his back foot and step forward and throw the ball, he's as good as it gets, if you ask me. Like I said, still on the quarterback here, and Williams is on top of him. It's over at this point, really. You just needed to not overthrow him, basically. And from what I saw of this, based upon where Goff released the football, I got a 55-yard throw in the air as Jameson Williams catches it on the 35. He did have to gear down slightly to go get this, I guess. Maybe go from 5th gear to 4.75, if you will. A great play that just kind of illustrate this is expected usage for what we thought Williams would give you when he was taken in the 2022 draft. That he was just going to be a guy who goes down the field and gets things done on deeper play concepts. Another one that kind of fits in that same category, a deep concept. Williams is actually misaligned here. He's on the line of scrimmage down at the bottom of the screen. And then when the tight end moves over, he ends up stepping off. No one told him to do it. He just recognized that he was on, and so was, I think it's Khalif Raymond in the slot. But in any case, it's a stutter go. There's going to be a little stutter by Williams here. It's Tre'Davious White who actually ended up with the Ravens later in 2024 and played well, but in the red zone specifically. Did not play well between the 30s, in my opinion. That kind of shows up in this film here. Williams spot shadowed at the bottom. This safety ends up kind of leaving, and it's just a total mismatch from a speed and burst standpoint. Goff is looking at the top side of the screen to St. Brown. Possibly has him, to be honest with you, meaning throwing it over the top. Goff just does a great job of throwing with the right trajectory when he's working down the field to his right side. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Goff, when he gets to this back foot and he's able to take his field of vision immediately, he's about as good as it gets, if you ask me. Here's the stutter that occurs by Williams right in this area, and it's just going to break down Tre'Davious White such that he can't keep up. He can't change directions. He's already opening up, meaning Tre'Davious White is already opening up, recognizing and respecting the speed. But once Williams gears down a little bit and Tre'Davious White gears down as well, he can't restart. He can't get back into gear as quickly as Jameson Williams did. As on the side, when he throws this football, I'm talking about Goff, his feet are back here on about the 37. And then so when Williams catches it, I think we got a 51-yard throw here, if I did my math right. Williams catches it on the 17. You can see the separation between Williams and Tre'Davious White. We all remember this one from week 1. The only part that bothered me here is like this patented dive. I don't say bothered, but the patented leap or dive in the end zone. I was worried about his knee. I was worried about his knee or something as he was tackled by Tre'Davious White just crossing into the end zone. Fortunately, nothing untoward occurred. It was a really cool moment. Week 1, we got a glimpse of how dangerous he was going to be in this offense. I'm going to make sure that I move things around a little bit on the screen. It seems to help with being able to present things and not have to worry about as many issues as I've had recently. So if there's too many graphics here, I apologize for that. First of all. Second of all, I adjusted my mic settings, and I recognize that it may be too loud or sound a little unusual. Please have some patience as I try to get that all set up. So Williams is at the bottom of the screen. We've moved on to week 4 against the Seahawks. And this is a really poorly called blitz, if you ask me, by Seattle. This out motion up the top of the screen by St. Brown is going to pull this corner, and I think that this is all designed to go to Jameson Williams. Goff doesn't panic at all. There's the route combination, so you're getting the tight end running, the over, and then essentially 2 over routes, I should say. But Jameson Williams is fitting underneath of the tight end's route from the other side. Additional to that, St. Brown is bringing his route back in as a possible option later on. There's 2 safeties, both blitzing for the Seahawks. That's Rayshon Jenkins from the bottom side, and I'm not sure who 24 is up at the top. It doesn't look like Julian Love is playing. Goff is on that back foot, like I talked about. I love how where he releases this to Jameson Williams in terms of the timing, trust that Goff has in Williams to get this throw to him. Really releases the ball now. He's releasing the ball, Goff, and Jameson Williams is nowhere near clearing this inside linebacker. Really cool because the ball ends up being completed on the other side, and when you get the end zone angle, you'll see what I'm talking about. Additional to that, the route I had drawn up on the other side, I think by St. Brown, was kind of incorrect. That's Devon Witherspoon. No one is going to be able to keep up with Jameson Williams once he catches the ball on the run. Another thing to notice when you watch the film that I took note of was so many players seem to have a ton of enthusiasm for each other, first of all, but also for Jameson Williams. I think players, fans, all know what he's capable of in terms of what he can bring to this offense, big play potential, and St. Brown on this play just kind of illustrates that, basically doing Jameson Williams' celebration, I think. Here's the same play end zone angle. Here's the tight end route that goes over the top. The 2 safeties blitzing here and here off the edge. I don't know how Goff knows this, or if he knows it. There's just no one for Woolen to pass the route off to. Woolen is the corner off screen to our right. You can see that Goff is under center. So how does he know that the safeties aren't going to be there? I don't know. He's looking at number 24 right now. Maybe he knew something, but he's just got so much poise when his back is turned to the defense, meaning his back is turned right now with the play fake. And I think that's one of the markers, one of the situations, I should say, excuse me, that John Morton should focus on is the under center offense that they use to attack with Jameson Williams. Williams is over here to our right, and this ball is thrown to land basically in this yellow box down here, almost where a safety would be, the safety number 24. And in this case, Goff delivers it well before Williams is, quote, open. He's crossing this tremendous trust by Goff and Jameson Williams to know where to go, and it's over. Like I said, St. Brown is right here, had kind of a clear out route, if you will, down the bottom side of the screen, top side of the screen for, excuse me, from the L22. Witherspoon, just no way for him to keep up at all. One of the few times when Jameson Williams doesn't unleash his dive or leap into the end zone. Very similar route concept here, and this is Williams and St. Brown lined up together. I would almost call this the Williams concept. I've seen it so much. Now, there's 3 or 4 times I saw this from the 2024 season when he didn't get targeted, right? And so what I mean when I say this is you have run action to one side, and there is something to talk about here. I consistently mention the boundary in terms of where Detroit attacks. So the ball is on the right hash, and the boundary is up here, short side of the field, and the wide side or the field side is down here. Look at the alignment of this boundary side safety. Now, I don't think the run action by Montgomery, really does anything to that safety, because that safety's already getting off. But what I'm talking about is his alignment. So he may have gotten some read, that safety, to go ahead and tell him, okay, get depth right now. This almost kind of ends up looking like a Tampa 2. But what it really does with this route by Williams, very similar to the one that I just showed you on the previous snap, is it isolates Foye-Oluokun, the inside linebacker who almost looks like he's trying to run between the hashes in a Tampa 2, because this is the passing strength. Williams and St. Brown down here, remember, they were stacked together originally. Goff's back is turned to the defense once again, got that foot in the ground, and he's looking over here. Once again, he's going to deliver the ball to Williams right around in this area. Williams runs past Oluokun. Oluokun's at a deficit there, obviously. A really good football player, someone I love watching film of. I don't think this safety is really held by the threat of St. Brown from a talent standpoint. I think he's just a half-field safety. So he's between the hash and the top of the numbers, and Williams just takes his route over the second level. That's why I call it an over concept. Once again, this corner, this DB safety, I should say, from the other side of the field, the boundary, no chance to come get Williams on this completion. A beautiful concept. I think we should probably start calling it the Williams concept. It's over at this point. This is the one where we get the crazy celebration from Williams. But just to illustrate it one more time, how often plays end up into the boundary. This is the boundary side. There's the field side. Williams is gone. He emanated, or he began the play from the field side, but he attacked into the boundary. And I think that's an important thing to note on some of these plays. There is this horizontal nature of the conflict that Williams presents, that Gibbs presents especially. I think those two guys should be tagged up as much as possible, meaning the run threat from Gibbs leads to the play action pass to Williams or Laporta or St. Brown, Patrick, Tesla, Raymond, whoever else. Just my point is, when you look at some of the film of the big plays that were generated, especially by Williams, Gibbs and or Montgomery is the beginning part, is step one of that, meaning there's a run fake into the boundary and Williams is attacking from the field. All right, probably one of his best wins from the 2024 season. That's Williams, and then this is Diggs. It's a 3rd and 8, and it's a quick snap. So from the end zone angle, you'll get a great view of that. So Ragnar gets his hand on the ball, and you don't really get a great view of it here because I paused my recording. But you'll see it from the end zone angle. So here's the routes that are run. This is Williams on his kind of like corner route, and then St. Brown, the blue route, a deeper out. Again, it's a 3rd and 8. There's some contact between Diggs and Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams' posture's briefly broken down, but he's such a fantastic athlete. It didn't matter at all. He was able to re-accelerate, somewhat similar to the stutter go against Tre'Davious White. As an aside, once again, Goff got that great angle with his back foot, getting those cleats into the ground. Field of vision is on St. Brown, Williams, and the third receiver up there, I think, is Khalif Raymond. It's a patented Goff wobbler, which you'll see from the end zone angle, but Williams is accelerating away from Diggs. The only reason is that he gets tackled. He's got to slow up ever so slightly to catch the football. This is the type of thing I think is going to happen a little bit more often in 2025, meaning he's going to beat a star defensive back. And here, I'm glad that he was able to finish the play. Diggs giving great effort to try to, dislodge the ball somehow. Goff is playing this off extremely well. Ragnar, you see, doesn't even have his hand on the ball at all, and it's a quick snap. As soon as he gets his hand on the ball, Goff's playing this off well. Doesn't look like he's ready. He's got no posture. He's got no bend in his legs. I mean, Goff takes the snap, and like I said, immediately takes his field of vision to the bunch side. Down here, you can barely see him. Williams and Diggs. On-time throw from Goff once again. Once he gets that foot back there, boom, foot in the ground, steps forward, delivers the throw. That's just textbook Jared Goff stuff. And also, I guess, sometimes the wobbling throw is, but it's on point, it's on target, on time. The separation is real, and we've got to give Jameson Williams credit for winning. Even though it was a quick snap, we got to give him credit for winning against a quality corner with a great reputation like Trayvon Diggs. And I think it's a sick design as well, to think about a quick snap. There's so many times where Goff or other quarterbacks get up to the line, they observe the defense, they adjust, and here the quick snap, just a differential timing. Things that are differential from a timing standpoint cause problems for defenses. I do, getting back to Williams versus Diggs or any of the elite corners, this is the type of play only an elite athlete makes. And what I mean is, somewhat lost his balance for a moment, knocked off balance on the route. There was a lot of people there. There's a lot of congestion. Diggs was certainly putting his hands on him. Williams is capable. I think he had 7 receiving touchdowns in 2025. He's capable of making plays like that when he does lose his balance. That's how great the burst really is, which I think is truly unique. Moving backwards a little bit here, forwards a little bit, excuse me. This is week 18. This is the standoff between Goff and the Vikings defense, that happens multiple times. As soon as I actually covered this in a video that I put out Saturday morning, as soon as Goff puts his hands on his helmet, Harrison Smith realigns everything. They get situated, and so it's a fourth down. So once they get situated, it really becomes stick split 0. So what we mean is the sticks. It's not a perfect line. The sticks are the line to gain. I think is here on 30, but I was just trying to draw it between these 4 defenders. They're basically reading the quarterback and or the receiver, and it's perfect usage for Jameson Williams. He's down here running the low drag, which you'll see another example of here in a moment. It's indefensible, really. There was a free rusher because of the nature of the way the defense lined up. They had so many guys on the line of scrimmage that you don't know who's blitzing, you don't know who's going to rush the quarterback and who's going to drop out. And in this case, the free rusher, I think, is Martellus, the safety/hybrid guy. But why is this so difficult to stop? It's because of what these guys are reading as DBs. Oftentimes are reading the quarterback and or the first route. And so it's not really man. Once St. Brown disappears, then this safety is supposed to hold and look for some work from the other side, just like this corner is holding when Jameson Williams disappears. But Goff, is delivering this ball while he's getting hit, or just as he's getting hit, right to this spot here, pretty much in that box. Williams catches it, converts, and he's just so physical. After the play, at the end of the play, he's unwilling to cede any level of competitive nature. I think he surged in 2024. That's clear, and it wouldn't surprise me if he levels up again. To be honest with you, here in 2025, Harrison Smith is going to be the guy that really changes this call once St. Brown motions across. And I think Goff is looking right at him, right here. Goff seems so relaxed when he does this. To me, it almost seems like he knows what Harrison Smith's reaction is going to be. Can't prove it at all, but he's so relaxed right here. Even touches his left leg for some reason, adjusting his thigh pad or something. In any case, there's the routes. St. Brown is this route here, off screen to our left, crossing the field. And then Jameson Williams is this one I think he actually catches it a little bit further out over here towards the other hash. 44 is the free rusher from the edge that gets the hit on Goff. You can see Goff had his eyes on Williams right now, and he confirms that 24 Bynum has not stepped down at all. Delivering the football kind of off his back foot, delivering the football right off his back foot, if you will, right in time. Brilliant stuff, if you ask me, for Goff to be able to process all of that pre-snap and be able to get the ball to the athlete. Williams also seems to have like style points. There seems to be a lot that he does that looks cool, and it's probably another reason why fans like him so much. So talking about field and boundary, again, we've got Williams and St. Brown lined up there. The hash is here so that they're into the boundary side against the Cowboys. Borderline unstoppable stuff here, if you ask me. St. Brown going in motion. Sometimes I can't draw the route to the actual depth that it gets to because of, I don't have the whole screen to work. I don't have the whole field, to work with. But you've got St. Brown in motion, kind of like a wheel post climb route by Khalif Raymond. Really is going to hold one of the safeties, and Jameson Williams ends up being absolutely isolated on this inside linebacker here because his route is a low drag. And so the reaction from the corner to his side, Diggs, who was lined up over top of him, is to leave him. Basically leave him and then take over, look for work from the other side. Conceptually, it's what Willen was trying to do on the touchdown pass to Jameson Williams that I showed you a couple of minutes ago. The difference is there's a safety here to kind of help out. There was no safety on that play. In any case, total isolation of this inside linebacker. Like I said, Williams is going to cross his face, try to finish with a flourish on the sideline, once again, just like the last play against the Vikings. My apologies. So this is the inside linebacker that's going to be put in conflict by the horizontal nature. This is St. Brown going in motion. Remember, he runs like a wheel post off screen to our right. It was at the bottom of our screen on the all-22 angle. There's the horizontal conflict, and these are two guys I want to see used in this regard. Jahmyr Gibbs as a potential run threat into one side, in this case the boundary, and then Jameson Williams from the boundary to the field, crossing number 13's face. You can see the relationship that they've got to each other here. Williams has already beat him, and Goff knows it. Goff is eyes on target, delivering the football out into the open space. Boom. Too easy, really, for Jameson Williams. You really can't get any easier than that from a receiver standpoint in the NFL. And it's almost unfair to have two players on the field with that much speed, meaning Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think that the offense could be really more efficient. I will have another video this week out about usage of boundary side attack. It's something that I'm trying to illustrate some of it here. These are simple concepts to get an athlete the ball like Williams, to get him loose, get him open, no matter who lines up against him, in my opinion. Talk about the route tree all you want, and some people do. I mean, I've actually heard a couple of fans of other fan bases talk about Williams' route tree, and it's a little disappointing. Like, man, just watch the guy play. He's surging. I think Morton and the coaching staff have a great problem on their hands. They've got too much talent on the field. St. Brown is as good as it gets at receiver, if you ask me. Gibbs, top 3, 4 running back in the league, whatever. I don't care. Rank him wherever you want. He's in there. Montgomery, incredibly effective. Laporte is almost forgotten about. And then you've got Williams, Raymond, Patrick has played well for the Lions. Tesla to add to the list. They're truly filthy rich from a position player standpoint, if you ask me. The last usage that I want to talk about is jet sweeps and or reverses. And a really cool adaptation will be the last play that I show you. You got 2 more. So this is actually into the boundary. So here is the boundary side, or the right hash. This is the boundary down here. Field side, wide side up there. Yeah, I get it. The hashes are only 18 feet apart, and the NFL, did that in like 1972 or 74 or 76, something, to create more opportunities to throw down here to the boundary. So there was more space, essentially. This is Williams on the jet motion, Gibbs with a run action away or in the opposite direction. Just classic, but I want to talk about for a moment, like, this is not easy. to be able to mesh up with a guy with the speed of Williams, who's committed, man. Williams, some guys don't run the jet motion full speed. He trusts, man. Williams trusts Goff, and Goff trusts him because the handoff is clean, it's tight. Look at the elbow relationship, it's parallel. Goff's elbow, forearm, Williams' elbow, forearm, right on top of each other, clean, all over it. You got lead blockers out here with, I think, St. Brown, and I believe that's Laporta. Into the boundary. Great usage of Williams' speed and ability to get up on top of the defense. The Bears ran the same play in the preseason. This was first play of the game against the Chiefs, I think Friday maybe, and Caleb Williams kind of fumbled it. So it's not easy to get that play off. It's just interesting to see the same play show up, if you will, in Chicago. Same play from the end zone angle, boundaries to our right, field to our left. It's 11 personnel twin slot, so you're going to get an arc release. Arc release means that the tight end is going to release to the outside. Everybody else is probably working down here. I think I've actually got an annotation for it. And the D end is left totally unblocked. We're talking about this defensive end here. It's classic, right? The horizontal conflict between Gibbs going this way to our left, and then Williams getting the jet sweep to our right. Once again, just extremely clean. All of these guys, offensive line, working away from Williams. They're working as if the ball's being handed off to Gibbs. And then over here you got Laporta, the arc release, leaving that defensive end totally unblocked such that Williams is able to outflank him. If that D end is making the tackle, then the guy you're handing the jet sweep off to isn't fast enough. Pursuit by 3 guys for the Cowboys underneath or behind this play. And then lead blockers, Laporta and Williams. That horizontal threat, man, I mean, that's classic. That's what's used the Rams under McVay, the 49ers right under the Shanahan tree. All of those guys, that's what Seattle is trying to implement in some ways with Kubiak. That horizontal threat is there, is present with the Lions offense as well, even if Ben Johnson isn't around. This play design is like 3 or 4 levels of adaptation that I think is just incredibly cool. This is a third down against the 49ers. I want to talk about what you usually get here, but let me run this play through one time. You can see Williams is going in motion. You're getting kind of a movement by these two safeties, DBs, to kind of match it. Williams reverses field and gets what some people would call a reverse back to the top side where he came from, gets in the end zone pretty easily. But what this really is split back sweep. And so what I'm talking about is having 2 backs here, which is not really present, and then this tight end. The typical blocking for this, basically the way that it would normally occur would be the wide receiver, Jameson Williams, is not on the field. Okay, so imagine that Williams is not there. Imagine that he's in the backfield. So oftentimes it would be this player here with his feet back here in the backfield as another fullback. And so what he would do is he would cut a defensive end or outside linebacker somewhere out in here. This guy or someone in this direction. Again, this is what would normally occur. It's the same blocking scheme, okay? And they used it against the Eagles in Week 1, 2022. The Chargers on the road, I think, Week 11 or Week 13, 2023. A couple of other teams as well. And in fact, the Chiefs used it against the Eagles in the Super Bowl that same year, 2022. How it's characterized, why it's a sweep, you get a down block by the tackle here, and then the left guard, in this case I think that's Glasgow, moving out to the edge to go pick up anyone out in front of the running back who's getting the ball. Gibbs, that's the way it's normally blocked, split back sweep. However, it's not a sweep. They've adapted it, altered it. It looks like jet motion, possibly, to this side, and you could, in fact, have a lead blocker out in front if you wanted to give the jet. Gibbs is offset, and the way that the Lions run this is Gibbs goes opposite of Williams. Again, from a conceptual standpoint, you've got your 2 fastest players going in different directions at the snap. It's something that I talked about with Ravens fans a lot last year. Their best plays, the best plays for the Ravens was when Derrick Henry was going in one direction and Lamar Jackson was going in the other. I think that John Morton and his staff should be exploring this dynamic. Maybe not this exact play. This is the type of thing, I don't know how many times you run it, but you've got the same blocking scheme. The left tackle, Decker, down on the D tackle. The left guard, I think it's Glasgow, pulling to the outside. 89, there's no edge defender for him to block. So Williams just scoots this all the way to the outside. Same block by the guard. In this case, like I said, Glasgow. Same block to the outside, leads Williams up to the top side of the field. Beautiful play design, if you ask me, that gives the defense a different look, but you can still run the same concept. There's no new teaching for your offensive line. There's no new teaching really for anyone other than Jameson Williams, who's a unique talent, and he appears very hungry to me. So Lions fans are not wrong in thinking that Jameson Williams is going to go off against the league this year. They're not wrong at all, but it's so crazy to see reactions from other fan bases. And for me, as someone who creates content about the Ravens, Lions, and Seahawks, it's a little revealing at times to get these like really homerish reactions from people to and about players that are incredibly talented. Jameson Williams is one of them. I've gotten ridiculous messages last season from people from other fan bases about him. I was like, it's, poor route tree, no hands, concerns about motivation and all these things. And he was a huge part of the offense last year. It was the number one offense in the NFL from a points per game standpoint. And I think he can be even more explosive. I think he can produce more. Maybe that means St. Brown gets less targets and catches, and they rely on Williams more. If it's design stuff, like some of the things I presented here, that's offense in the NFL. It's designed, it's planned, it's coordinated, and I think you're looking at a big season for Jameson Williams. Is it 82, 84, 86 catches? Probably not. It's like 68 to 73, somewhere in that range, and I don't see anything wrong with that. He's got great usage on shorter concepts that are simple. There's drag and over routes that I showed you, the jet sweeps, no reverses, no reverse passes. We're not going to see that at all. I think we expected the down the field stuff early in his career. It's here, it's there on film, but it's a more diverse game than just that. And I think you're looking at a guy who could make the All-Pro teams at some point in his career, possibly even 2025. This video went on longer. I'm not sure how the annotations and the spot shadow stuff is going to affect the length of my videos. If you think this one went on too long, talking about one player, you're more than welcome to let me know in the comment section. However, if you did enjoy it and you like the new style annotations, it's kind of something that has to be done. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. My apologies if you don't enjoy it the most. But in any case, if you think other Lions fans would enjoy this film study look at Jameson Williams, a lengthy one at that, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.